Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. We had seen some uptick in the US markets on Friday and both Nasdaq and Dow were up anywhere from 0.4 to almost about 0.2%. No major data points as such. European markets too were up anywhere from 0.25% to almost about 0.75%. In fact, Portuguese markets where the negative news flow was the highest also saw a very smart pullback and the bond yields also have pulled off a little. And when we look at the Asian markets today morning, both Nikkei and Hang Seng are up almost about 0.3 to 0.35%. However, market is awaiting some important economy data points both from Japan and China. And in terms of flows, friends, FIs were net sellers in the cash market to the tune of about 743 crore. In the cash market, the domestic institutions were sellers to the tune of about 43 crore, and in the index futures too, we have seen selling by the FIIs to the tune of about 563 crore. So there is a good amount of selling which we have seen in the past few days, and the market too has corrected very sharply, both on the railway budget day, then there was a huge swing on the budget day, and then again we have seen a sell-off. So the sentiment has got definitely tarnished because of the massive weakness that we've seen across stocks and index both. So we've seen stocks correcting anywhere from 10 to 20%, and the index itself has corrected about 5%, and Bank Nifty in particular is showing a lot of weakness. Part of the weakness was also because of the kind of uncertainty and the media hype about the GAR related issues, but we had some kind of a clarification coming out from the Revenue Minister saying that they haven't really reviewed the GAR at this point of time. So there might be some kind of a clarity emerging over the next few days. On that note, let me invite Sadhana to take us through important F&O cues and ideas that we can have from the F&O side.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. From past 5 consecutive trading sessions, we have seen that Nifty continued to trade with a negative bias. On Friday also we have seen that after a positive opening, Nifty made an intraday high at around 7640 level. From there it slipped below the mark of 7500 and made a fresh low at around 7466 odd levels. As we have seen that selling was witnessed in many of the blue chip counters across with sectoral indices. As we have seen that BHEL, DLF, Hindalco Industry, Jindal Steel along with many other blue chip counters which were down by approximately 5 to 10%. But index future we have seen that short positions were built up. At around 1.30 lakh shares were added in Nifty futures, and Nifty futures price decreased by approximately 97 rupees. On the other hand, cost of carry is increased by approximately 146% from 2.04% to 5.03%. Along with Nifty futures premium increased from 9 points to 21 odd levels. On the options front, we have seen that PCR has decreased from 0.69 to 0.66, which is clearly indicating that call option has added good number of shares than put option. On Friday's trade, we have seen that call option has added around 32 lakh shares in open interest, whereas put option has added around 6 lakh shares in open interest. On the volatility index, which is down by approximately 100 to 200 basis points. In the options matrix, we have seen that 7700 stands with good number of shares in open interest, followed by 7600, then 7500. In the put option, we have seen that unwinding activity taking place in 7500 and 7400, and that activity is shifted to 7300. There are 3 securities in bank period today. One is Dish TV, second is GMR Infra, third is HDI. On Friday's trade, FIs were net buyers of 933 odd crores in future and option segment, but they were net sellers of 533 crores in index futures. They were net buyers of 863 crores in index options. They were net buyers of 672 crores in stock futures, and they were net sellers of 68 crore in stock options. Our Friday CVF stands at 7640. Lower range for the market would be 7450 and higher range would be 7700. Earlier 7700 was acting as a good support, but now it is acting as a stiff resistance going forward, as we have seen that highest number of shares were added in 7700 call strike price. Singapore Nifty is down marginally by 4 points, which is at 7.50. We may see margin flattish to positive start in Nifty futures today. That's it from derivatives. Thank you.
Friends, let me take you through Sharekhan pre-market action report, starting with actionable ideas. First of all, some positive developments for Delta Corp, as there are reports that IDC's hotel division is close to buying Ramada Carvela Beach Resort from Advani Hotel and Resorts in Goa, and since Delta Corp also holds about 24% stake in the same property, there is going to be some kind of positive rub-off on the Delta Corp stock in today's market. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 76 and a target of about 81 to 83. Here is the list of stocks with positive and negative bias for the people who want to do day trading. Stocks with positive bias are Tech Mahindra, Sun Pharma and Hindustan Unilever, and stocks with negative bias are Axis Bank, BHEL, GAIL and Bank of Baroda. In other important updates, BCB is going to be announcing their first quarterly numbers, where the expectation is that the net profit will be about 47.1 crore, and there is also going to be announcement of WPI and CPI both. WPI, the expectation is that it's likely to be around 5.77% versus about 6.01% in May 2014, and also CPI, the expectation is that it will be around 7.75% versus about 8.28% in May. Also, we had a positive news flow on the IIP front over the weekend, where the IIP actually grew at about 4.7% versus about 3.4% in April, which is led by the better performance from the manufacturing segment, and even capital goods the growth was dipped to about 4.5% versus about 15.7%. And an important clarification that came out from the Revenue Secretary Shaktikant Das, the government is yet to review the GAR proposals, so it is not as if that it is going to be implemented from the 1st of April 2015. So you might expect some kind of a clarity emerging from the government over the next few days. And in other news and updates, UK drug regulator has raised a class 4 alert against Vocard's amoxicillin sodium powder used in the injections to treat a certain type of bacteria in the children. So negative news flow for Vocard today, and Coal India is likely to increase the price of coal next month to pass on the increase in the clean energy cess, which has been hiked by about 50 rupees per ton. So that is the news on Coal India. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great trading session and see you tomorrow at the same time.